on animal experimentation has long since vanished. Before Tony Blair got into power, he actually promised us an official inquiry into animal testing. But now this government won't even contemplate it. Look at their shameful response to early day motion 569, which simply asks for a comparison of animal tests with a set of human biology-based tests, so that we can see which is more effective to predict the safety of medicines for patients. The government won't even do that. What are they afraid of? In spite of the fact that 92% of new drugs that successfully pass through animal studies still fail in clinical trials, our government has so far refused to carry out this basic comparison. And yet this government continues to ignore growing scientific evidence that animal experimentation is seriously flawed. This government ignores the fact that there are fundamental differences between different species and even within species, which makes animal testing unreliable and dangerous. And they ignore the fact that side effects from medical drugs are responsible for 18,000 deaths in the UK every year, the fourth biggest cause of premature death after heart disease, cancer and stroke. And yet all of those drugs were passed as safe according to the animal tests. And so we're here to say that we will not let these issues be ignored any further. A few years ago, when the European Parliament was debating the REACH directive on safer chemicals, I put a set of amendments to the Environment Committee calling for a completely non-animal test strategy. And that set of amendments was actually adopted by the Parliament's Environment Committee. Now, unfortunately, a few short weeks later, it was overturned by the full Parliament. But it does show, nevertheless, that steps can be taken in the European Parliament, and that if we build pressure even more effectively, we can bring about change.
I myself, I got involved in animal rights movement in Sweden almost 20 years ago now, and for me it all started at an anti-vivisection demonstration outside a private vivisection lab in Stockholm. And many people that came up to me that day, they told me that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I didn't know what animals in the labs, how they were treated. So I decided to have a look myself, and have since then worked undercover in 3 different vivisection laboratories in Stockholm, Sweden. In one lab I worked, they tested to see if it was dangerous to inhale solvents and if it affected the brain on rats. They added drops of different chemicals on the brains of beautiful rats, and then they put the rat on a small plastic island in a bucket of water and pushed the rat into the water to see if it would swim back to this little plastic island. They never swim back, they all drowned and died. I asked myself, where's the science in that? In another experiment, the Corswell hamster's food consisted only of sugar, to see if sugar is dangerous for teeth. How stupid are they? We all know it is, and we have known it for years. It has nothing to do with science.
I formed the Animal Rights Action Network, ARN. I don't know if many of you heard of us, but we're a national animal rights group based in Ireland. We work right across the country fighting for animal rights. It was almost actually 11 years to this day that we formed the group. The greatest respect we can afford animals is just to leave them alone. Over the last few months, ARN has been working hard to uncover animal experiments at colleges and universities in Ireland. Not long ago we broke national news and we exposed Trinity College for using animals in painful experiments. Our campaign was joined by famous author John Bangle, who fired off a letter to Trinity College joining in our call to dump animal experiments. The campaign worked and made national positive headlines for the animals. Of course, shortly after that, we we were quick to take advantage of the youth presentation. We staged a really exciting demonstration outside the gates of Trinity College. We had a big giant dog and he led a big demonstration with a banner that read, "Animals are not ours to experiment on." Once again, our event helped to generate huge positive press coverage for the animals' plight, and it helped get the message into the public mainstream. Shortly after that, we went to the Dublin newspaper in Dundalk to help expose more killing, more suffering at Smooth Muscle Research Centre, the test on rabbits. At Aaron, we are known for our colourful and vibrant events. I believe that we're like the painter Dante Rossetti, who is an old painter and who used to be chided for being told not to make a spectacle of himself, and he used to say, well, if I make a spectacle, people stare, and then they have the attention for my serious work. So forgive us please for the embarrassing stunts, the crazy antics and the stupid tricks. What Aaron has realised is that the press, God bless them, are like your cat. That if you speak seriously to them, none of them pay absolutely no mind. But if you wiggle your finger under the door, they know that it's just your finger, but they have to come over and take a look. So we know our work is very serious, but by using humour and outrageous stunts, we get many thousands of people who otherwise not would give two hoots to take a look. In the animal kingdoms, animals don't get stroke, they don't get cancer, they don't get heart attacks. In these unnatural ways, they undergo these ridiculous experiments every day in laboratories.
Animals Count is a party that seeks to change politics. And after all that's happened, I'm sure we can all agree that politics can do with a change. Following industry lobbying, our elected representatives chose to accept amendments which include reducing the scientific justification needed for experimenting on monkeys, allowing almost unlimited reuse of animals in virtually all experiments, and allowing animals to suffer severe and prolonged pain. How generous of them. Furthermore, the licensing of virtually all experiments would be ended. The majority of animal research would become a free-for-all. And all of these amendments were voted for by them against the wishes of their electorate, us. Animals Count is here to ensure that another politics is possible, because we recognise that Parliament, that building over there, is ours, it belongs to us, and democracy is ours, it belongs to us, and the power to shape the policy of the government is ours too. The power is in our hands and we will use it.
We are not violent, we are not terrorists, we have not killed anybody. But the police and the government have killed millions over the years. Vivisection has cost the lives of millions of people, and we must not ever forget that.
So that is our advice to animal researchers. Drop what you're doing, change your job, either become a plumber or retrain and practice real science. Thank you.